guys, so today I'm here with, again, BakaShift and Animelting to talk about some seasonal anime and shows and stuff like that. So, do you want to introduce yourselves, guys?
Me first?
Yeah,
Yep.
why not?
I'm BakaShift, and you're probably, like, seeing me in Ebby's videos more than you're seeing Ebby alone, but that's fine.
Okay, me?
Pat?
I'm Animelting. I've been on this channel twice now. And I have a YouTube channel too. That's why I'm here.
And if you wish to talk about this video on Twitter, you can use the hashtag Team BakaMelting.
It's good.
The best team
It's
name
the
that's
best
ever existed.
Hashtag and the best team name.
So proud.
So we're actually going to talk about some anime, I guess, and I need to get my hype out of the way, guys.
Oh wait, first and foremost, if you all haven't seen part 1, you need to click on the link on the screen right now. That'll take you to part 1, which was up on my channel. This isn't part 1, last time it was. But
okay.
Yeah, head on that link, you'll see part 1, which is up on my channel, which was
Turn this thing on its head.
And that's all that needs to be said before Evie moves back into getting her hype engaged.
Sorry, I was just so hyped to talk about this first show that I forgot that we just recorded a video. That I should have mentioned.
You just glazed over the last video completely because you were just like,
yeah, I was just like,
when are we going to talk about this next show? When are we going?
I was on my hype train.
Yeah.
And it was derailed very briefly there. But the first thing that we're going to talk about today is Noragami, which is a Bones show. So I am so in.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, pretty much. I just feel like it's been personally a really long time since I've seen a Bones show that specifically has been airing. I'm trying to think, the last one that I might have watched may have been like 2 or 3 episodes of Eureka 7 Astral Ocean.
Yeah.
Which was not good from what I heard.
No, it was absolutely dreadful. I think literally the last Bones show I recall airing was Blast of Tempest. I think there may have been something in between Blast of Tempest and now, but I don't think I've watched anything in between then. I might be wrong.
I still haven't seen Blast of Tempest.
Yeah, and you should.
I will, because I like Bones a lot.
Yeah.
Like, whatever they do, even though they tend to do a lot of sci-fi and mecha stuff, which I've said before, literally today, I don't like. But Bones do it in a way that really interests me, like Star Driver and Eureka 7 and whatever.
Well, just beyond anything, all Bones sci-fi mecha series, they're not grey. They're not like this drab kind of flat wasteland.
They are totally
They're
fabulous.
Always just completely and utterly gloriously colourful, whether it's like kind of the trapper going green across the sky in Eureka 7, or, well, Star Driver, wherein like it's essentially an explosion of rainbows at all times of the day.
Yeah. But I don't know, I feel like it's been forever since Bones have done something, and this season they're doing 2 shows, which I find incredible.
Well, it's just because, I mean, specifically with this season and the show we'll be talking about next, we won't touch on yet, is that Bones haven't done anything high profile since FMA Brotherhood. Because though there was some kind of hype and build up for Eureka 7 Owl, but all of that hype was completely and utterly dropped when the show was irresponsibly horrible, unstoppably pitiful, the worst possible sequel any fan of the original could hope for. And I'm really sad that I think about it now. But back on a good note.
I think the last Bones show
Do you have
I
anything to
watched
say on this in particular?
the last Bones show I watched was Darker Than Black, and that shows how long it's been since I watched Bones. It's been long.
That's ages ago actually.
Yeah.
That's an old show, but still really good. Like it really holds up. And that's probably the thing that I like about Bone shows, is that they tend to hold up a lot longer than these like slice of life, music, comedy things.
Everything these days. The main thing I can say about this series is just literally that it does straight up just look like the same kind of thing as Blast of Tempest in all regards. It's an action-adventure shonen series. And Blast of Tempest, it didn't get much popularity, didn't get much hype, no one really cared about it because it wasn't that good. But I thoroughly enjoyed Blast of Tempest. I was able to watch it, understand the things that were wrong with it, but I just really enjoyed it. I found it so entertaining. I adored the characters. I thought it looked absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, but Bones do that.
Yeah.
Bones make things look really nice.
Yeah, they really do. And I just kind of I'm happy if this show is literally just kind of a very similar thing, almost more of the same with Blaster Tempest, because it does look so similar, even down to the character designs and everything. And I'm sure it's going to be. It can't go down the exact same route that Blaster Tempest did, because that had a very specific twist to its story.
Have we actually talked about what the show is about?
No.
No.
Have we what?
Does anyone want to fill that in?
No, we haven't. It's about a girl called Hiyori, and she's bullied, and so she calls up a god, but he's not very good at, like, helping. But he's there. That's how I interpreted the synopsis.
That's about it. That's about it.
I watched the PV for it, and I've got to say, like, the PV just looks so good. Like, the designs are just so eye-pleasing, I suppose. And the soundtrack to the PV as well, just really good.
Yeah.
So I'm
just
so excited about this show.
Soundtracks.
I just love how Bones does action generally. Like in stuff like Tono Quan and that. It's just like it's crazily good. It's really, really fun to watch.
They did Tono Quan, didn't they? That was probably the last thing I watched.
Yeah, man. That's good
Yeah,
stuff.
we'll go with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is obviously the more low-key Bones show of the series, but and it's one that lots of people are glazing over, and one that not many people are talking about because nobody really pays attention to Bose. The headphone brand Bose. No one pays attention to them. Bones. No one seems to pay attention to them anymore because, as I said, they haven't had anything high profile in a while. And why should they, Abby?
Because Bones are awesome.
But
But I'm just like a pure Bones fangirl. Like
Justified.
I'm gonna watch Wolf's Rain soon, and I'm really excited about watching Wolf's Rain for some reason.
That was from Bones' golden age, though, back with.
Yeah, but still, like it was a show that I didn't watch because so many people were just like, oh, it's just like 30 episodes of them walking and having a conversation or whatever.
I've heard so many mixed opinions on Wolf's Rain. Like I've heard from some people that it's a masterpiece, from other people that it's just diabolically bad, and from some that it's just boring.
I've heard the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know
It is
until I watch it.
I'm gonna watch it soon.
Yeah,
but
will.
I'm
Depends
just
on how
like
much you like walking.
You know why you are? Because it's got Mamo in it. Mamo.
But I don't know. I really like Bone shows, and I can't explain why. I just think they're awesome.
Yeah, they do have. They do stand out as being. They have their own very, very unique style to them. You can always tell if something's a Bone show, and it's got kind of really kind of. I'd almost call it a nostalgic feeling to it, because just so many of my earliest shows that I really, really fell in love with, like the original FMA and Eureka 7, like some of the earliest shows I really got on board with, it just kind of reminds me of how I felt when I watched them. Or because Bone shows will always kind of have this kind of consistent feeling to them.
Yeah.
It just kind of which reminds me why I like anime. Like as I said with Blaster Tempest, it had so many problems with it, but it was just kind of one of those shows that it just felt like anime. It just felt like what I want, exactly what I want out of this medium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I want out of Noragami.
Oh, Pat, do you have anything to say on this?
Cool. No, I'm happy to watch it. It looks interesting.
And you should be.
And I want the guy's boots. Look at that guy's boots.
I'm so into the idea of getting a pair of combat boots. Like the more I look at their artwork and stuff, I'm just like, I want combat boots.
I've said this to you before, Evie, but Blaster Tempest, I spent the entire series going, I want his boots. Oh my god, his boots are amazing. I want to wear those things. But with that said,
I want the blonde guy's coat. It looks like he's stolen off Kyon from Haruhi.
So
that is his coat. Totally.
We'll move on before I go into more of a rant about Bones to talk about another Bones show. Oh,
well, would you look at that?
Yeah, look how that worked out. So the next show that we're going to be talking about is Space Dandy.
Oh,
who's hype?
Baby. I don't think there's anyone who isn't hype, to be honest.
Who's hype?
Oh, it's worthy of the hype.
Pat, I'm not sensing your hype. You need to be jumping around in your chair
All
right
right
now. It's Spackista Dandy.
Will I be the only one? Will you join me? Will you join me in a jump?
Hype.
Oh.
Look at me go. Bones so hype. Bones so hype.
But the thing is, Evie, what's the thing that you are hyped about with Space Dandy? Because I know you're
Right.
not hyped about the thing that everyone else is hyped about, because you don't really seem to be the biggest fan of Shinichiro Watanabe. I mean, you don't like him. It's just that
Hype the same as
I haven't watched any of his shows really, apart from Kids on the Slope, which I really personally enjoyed.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's done anything else, like Cowboy Bebop. I haven't seen that. I will see that at some point because
Watanabe shows is Bebop, Kids on the Slope, and Samurai Champloo.
I've only seen Kids on the Slope then. okay, so I'm excited about the studio, again, because it's Bones, and I really like Bones, but the thing is, if you hadn't already guessed that from that video, I feel like I've got so many points to make about this show. I feel like this is a really good thing for Bones as a studio.
Absolutely.
And I feel like this is way more likely to succeed than Noragami is, even though Noragami is probably going to be the thing that I prefer. But this show is just, from the PV and the pictures that you can see and just everything about the show, it just looks colourful and bright and just looks...
You know why, don't you? It's because the character designs were done by the person who did Star Driver.
Yeah, that's why I'm hype. But like everything about what I've seen about this show just looks like it's really been cared about and it's been well taken care of.
Yeah, you could definitely sense that they've put so much effort into it, and I really hope that really pays off once it comes out, because as much as this is definitely a series that has the potential to really take off, in the same vein, it's a series that really needs to take off, because if it doesn't, then this could see the start to a demise of Bones, I think.
And I don't want that.
Yeah, because I mean,
they are putting a lot on this show.
So as we have touched on already, Bones really have not had a massive series since FMA Brotherhood, and before that, I think the series they had before that was really big was Darker Than Black, the first season. And it's just been a while since they've put something out there that's really been latched onto by people, so they must be kind of perhaps running out of money in some regards, but this...
I feel like they're putting everything that they have into these two shows, maybe more into Space Dandy.
Absolutely more. One thing actually I'm worried about is I'm worried that they would have put so much into Space Dandy that Noragami suffers, but I'm hoping that doesn't happen, because...
I am very concerned about the fact that they're doing two shows this season, because they very rarely do one a season now.
Yeah.
And it's all of a sudden like, oh, Bones are back, and they're doing two things.
Did they do anything last season?
No.
I don't think they've done anything in a while.
They've had time to work on it.
Let's actually check this so we can stop the...
Yeah, they've had time.
In the meantime...
Well, they have put so much onto it. Like, it's getting screened in America before anywhere else during the Toonami block that they have.
That's a really good point, actually.
And it's also getting a dub. And it's getting released everywhere.
Yeah, they did some...
Like, worldwide.
They did something called Tenkai Nights in between Blaster Tempest and Space Dandy, but that's it. The last major series they did was Blaster Tempest. They haven't done anything since this time last year.
Has anyone ever done this before, where they've gone, right, we're going to air it with an English dub before we air it in Japan?
No. It's
so there's a lot riding on this, like, more so than Bones, I suppose. Yeah. Like, if this ends up being successful, and that being a factor, this could change a few things.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if this goes well, this could see like a major breakthrough for anime in the West. Because I mean, we've seen it more recently. I mean, with started with Sword Online, got blown out of proportion with Attack on Titan. Because I mean, those shows ended up being way more popular in the West than we'd expected them to, and really took off to the point where it wasn't just anime fans who were watching them. Like, fucking everyone was watching Sword Art, everyone was watching Attack on Titan. And if Space Dandy, I don't think it's able to, and because I don't think it is, as though it is very Western focused, I can't see it being as popular as Sword Art and Attack on Titan. But if it got anywhere close, that in combination with the stuff surrounding its production and how it's airing, could really see some major changes in how anime is viewed over here.
I think it's been designed to get a cult following, like Cowboy Bebop had got.
Yeah.
Because it's very it's set in space, and they're aiming at a Western audience.
But just looking at how they've done the show, I definitely see it has the potential to be nowhere near as popular as Bebop, because nothing is as popular as Bebop, but it's certainly more popular than Shampoo and Kids on the Slope. And it needs to be more popular than Shampoo and Kids on the Slope. It really does. Because
I don't know. I'm scared that if this doesn't work, I'm scared of what might happen.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I'm more excited, to be honest. I really do think this will be popular. I think this will really take off, because it seems like the kind of thing that definitely appeals to the Adult Swim audience. I mean, we haven't seen an episode 1 yet. We haven't seen anything like that. Yeah. But I get the feeling that this is going to do perhaps not ridiculously well, but easily well enough. But if it does really take off and does grow this crazy following and give them so much money.
It's going to be so marketable.
We could see Bones return to their golden age.
That'd be amazing.
We could see Bones going back to how they once were. And that, more than anything else that could happen, really, really, really excites me. Because, as we've spent the entirety of this video talking about thus far, we're quite fond of Bones.
I want to go so big that I see Space Dandy toys on shelves. And sassy lady vacuum robots as well.
Yep.
And Cat, that future Cat. If you've seen anything of Space Dandy, then you know the characters are Dandy, a weird cat sort of thing,
and they have
and a
massive
robot.
pompadours.
Those pompadours are magnificent.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't mentioned them, Pat. You're going all in on the pompadours in Ippo when we did this last season.
I'm more with the sassy lady robot this time. Sassy lady robots are the best.
He's changing.
Ebby
his
will
guns.
attest to with Dizzy from Beyblade.
Yep, Dizzy from Beyblade. There you go. This show's going to be amazing.
Of course it is.
Sassy lady robots.
They're the best. Should we move on?
I think
We've been talking about these two shows for about 20 minutes now.
That's fine. But
So
we'll move on.
We'll move on to the next thing on the list
So
to
we
move
talk
away
about-
from Bones. So goodbye, Bones. I love you. We'll move on to Nisekoi, which is the new Shaft show. And yeah, personally, I think it's been a while since I've watched a new Shaft show.
Yeah.
So
But the thing about this one is it's not going to be one that really kind of adheres to what makes Shaft popular, like to what makes Shaft.
sure.
Like it's
Yeah.
Shaft. It is not going to be a Bakemonogatari or a Madoka. It is going to be
No.
just
Well,
a...
that's not what I want from a Bones show.
You still got Bones on the
I've
mind.
still got Bones on
Emmy,
my
you're
This is
such
not
a-
what I want from a Shaft show.
You're such a bonehead.
Like, my favourite Shaft shows have always been the shows like Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei, Arakawa Under the Bridge. Just, I don't know how to explain it. Like, they have an interesting element with this really interesting animation that they always put on top of it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm the most excited about... Well, that's the reason why I am excited about it. Not because I know anything about Nisekoi,
Yeah. Well, all
not
I know
because
of Nisekoi
anything like that.
It's just it's a very, very, very popular manga series that I've heard various people singing the praises of over the years. And I think it's just like your standard harem romance, and that's honestly enough for me to be interested in it, beyond the fact that it's Nisekoi and it's got this big following behind it, because it's been so bloody long since I've seen a good harem. I really wanted Kimi no Iramachi to be that a season or two ago, and it just wasn't. Kimi no Iramachi equally was a very, very popular manga, one that I actually started reading a while ago and then stopped, and hoped the anime would be enough to kind of get me back into it, but it wasn't. The Kimi no Iramachi anime was really, really not that great, and hopefully, with this being Shaft and Akiyuki Shimbo behind it, it could be something really good.
Yeah, probably should have brought that up a bit sooner.
Yeah. This as what I said about Shaft. I mean, this isn't going to be one of Akiyuki Shimbo's big things that can really display what he's capable of, because there's a limit to what you can do in a harem in terms of like really artistic and out there animation direction.
Yeah.
But he's definitely more than capable of it. It's just not going to be.
It's not going to be the next Madoka.
Yeah,
or...
it's not going to be one of the shows that's like when people say Akiyuki Shimbo. Like when people say Akiyuki Shimbo, they do say the Monogatari series of Madoka. They don't go, yeah, he did Dance in the Vampire Band and Hidamari sketch.
Yep.
No one says that. It's just that they just mention the shows that actually really stand out.
They
and
will
show
now.
What he's capable of.
They will now. You've started a movement.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have anything to say on this, Pat?
I thought it was going to be pretty much a show that I've seen before, until they got to the point where it said that he's part of a gang, like his family is a gang, and he's put into a relationship with a rival gang. So I thought that was an interesting take on a harem, because there could be a real risk of death at that point.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If he stuffs it
Oh
up.
man, and if there's gangs involved, then maybe the protagonist looks like a delinquent, and it'll be like Toradora. Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So hype.
Or Haganai.
Oh, definitely. But less like Haganai, because
He's got
Toradora's good.
He's got the popped collar. Popped collar.
That sick burn.
Oh. Yeah, I think it's actually quite rare that we're in a group of 3 people here and none of us have actually read this. Because it is really popular, the manga is.
I just stopped reading manga, so that's probably my reason.
I haven't read manga in a very long time, but...
I might read it after... Yeah.
We'll see what happens with it, because I mean, if it's going to be more than likely like a 12-13 episode series, and the manga supposedly is very, very good early on, and then kind of loses its way, from what I've heard. So hopefully this actually finds a good place to stop, instead of just kind of, I don't know, being like Ichigo 100% or something like that, which I really liked back in the day, but it just didn't end. It just didn't have a conclusive ending. He doesn't choose anyone, and harems where no one gets chosen is just like, it's just like you haven't,
pointless life.
You just haven't finished watching the show. It'd be like watching, I don't know, like Kimi ni Todoke. If you watch Kimi ni Todoke and then stop like 5 episodes before the end, you'd just be like, why is life life?
But yeah, the only
Speaking
reason...
of conclusive endings, should we move on to... Oh, sorry, I was trying to...
Wait, what conclusive ending?
I was going to make an awesome segue. Go.
I'll go for it.
Speaking of inconclusive... But you were about to say something, so...
I've forgotten. I was just going to gush about Shaft some more, probably, so go on.
And the Kino's Journey OVA they did.
Oh, okay.
Go for your segue.
Alright. Okay. Speaking of conclusive endings, on to Nurin. Naurin? How do you say it, Alan?
Norin. Not Urin.
Norin. Nurin.
Norin. Ho ho ho. Nodoru.
I'm excited for this one. Because it comes from the people who did Baka and Test and Kokoro Connect. And those are things I like.
The reason I decided I was gonna maybe try this show out is because I have watched, in total, 1 Silverlink show.
Which one?
And it was a show called C Cubed.
Oh no.
And it was
No.
awful.
Oh,
it was one of the worst shows I've ever seen in my life.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, they did that.
Why?
Dire.
Yeah, C Cubed was so awful.
How did that make you want to watch this?
Well, people really sing the praises of, like, Baka and Test. I've heard really good things about Kokoro Connect. I've heard really good things about Dusk of Amnesia.
Yeah.
But I've never seen any of these shows, so I have, like, this idea that the studio are quite good, but I've just never watched one of their shows that has had that reputation.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen Baka and Test, and I've heard lots of good things about that, but I can't say enough good words about Kokoro Connect. I absolutely adored that show. I really did, and I miss it so much. I really want to watch it.
Yeah, I need to watch it at some point.
Just
people
like
just
the
like, you should watch this show,
that,
it's really good.
Silverlink are capable of in some of their series. I mean, obviously it's down to the writers and everything like that, but in Silverlink shows, like, just the characters in Kokoro Connect just worked so well together, and same, honestly, in Dust Maiden of Amnesia. I felt like the cast were just so good, they had such good chemistry, and that's something I pick up from a lot of Silverlink series. And though this series seems to be about one character more than anything else, I could still see it being able to display some of the...
Both you do yourselves a favour and go watch Baka and Test.
I think we will.
Yeah. Double sub. Yeah, double sub. It's good.
Well, one of the reasons I
really
can watch
fun.
Baka and Test is because it's one of the very few things that's actually released in my country.
Yeah, man.
We can actually
you can buy it on DVD.
Yeah, we generally can't do that in England. Like, that's not really something that happens. Unlike in Australia, where they're just like, let's license everything ever for you to buy.
That's why Australia is great for
and
that
put it
reason.
on Blu-ray.
You can get it on Blu-ray, which is really rare in this country.
Like Australia, it's good for buying anime, providing you have lots of anime, but bad for internet connections.
Also bad for pricing on anime, because when I went to Australia, it was really expensive over there. But they're so pretty art boxes, so good, much wow. But yeah, I don't know.
Love an art box.
Talking about Norin again. I'm interested in the director because they did F as well, and I really, really, really liked F.
F was very good.
So. Oh, that was another Shaft show, so I probably should mention that.
Oh, baby.
But that's finally been released in this country as well, so we can totally watch that. I don't know. I don't know that the story's going to be like all that interesting, but I feel like I need to try at least another Silverlink show and maybe Kokoro Connect and Backer and
I
Test.
don't know. I think the story actually interests me quite because I just like the idea of it's like the retired idol going to a school and one of her fans is there. It's just.
Well, the thing that I don't like
seems...
about the idea of the plot is that I just finished watching Nana, which was like this really adult show, and then I'm going to be going back to like, oh yeah, they're like high schoolers and about 15, you know?
Well, you should just... Well, that's what happens when you watch Nana. Just anime isn't as good anymore.
Yeah, it's ruined. It's ruined anime for me.
But it's cool. Another season of The Usual Tribe will get you back on board. That'll be great.
Yeah, man, it'd be great. And I'll be like, why do I like anime? Anime's really rubbish.
Shut up, man. Why want Alice? Another reason I like this whole kind of idol going, like popular idol going to school and everyone's like, oh, it's her. It's just because I really liked all the interactions with the chick with pink hair from World of God Only Knows. that is her full name. The chick, yeah.
Because that's her name.
I really like that stuff. Like all the episodes around her, she was probably like one of my favourite things about that series.
She was one of my least favourite thing about that series.
Oh no, I thought she was great. I'm not gonna lie.
We'll have to agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah, man.
I can't words today.
Words are hard.
Do you have anything else to say, either of you?
Nah, not really.
Nope.
Nolan. I'll just say the name again.
Nolan.
Beauty. So, shall we move on?
We shall indeed.
To the next show, which is from Brains Base and called Defrag.
Oh, baby.
Again, I get way, way, way too excited about studios rather than like directors and writers because I'm like, I really like their animation style, oh my god. So I was just like, ooh, a Brains Base show.
Oh, yeah, because your favourite Brains Base show, Amnesia.
It's justified.
Amnesia.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did other good things
Yeah,
as well,
they've done
like
lots of good things.
Bakano. No, not Bakano.
Yeah, they did Bakano.
No, they did Bakano, but they did
Comedy Snafu.
Bakano, Durara, Natsume
Durara. Natsume Yujinchou is the biggest one for me because I really like that show.
It's just rather lovely.
Penguin
And it has like these endless sequels that I've yet to watch.
It's got like 4 seasons.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. But yeah, just I don't. It sounds like what was that one called? The Snafu one.
Origairu.
Yeah, it sounds
Origairu.
really quite similar to that in ways to me, but I didn't watch the entire show.
Okay,
So-
my hype level of this has now gone from like 3 to like 47.
You'll have to go and read the synopsis and like.
Reading
Yeah,
the synopsis,
reading it.
I don't think it sounds like Origairu.
It doesn't really seem like it's much like.
It's about a guy who thinks he's tough, and then he finds out that he's not
I
tough.
don't know,
There's this group of
it
girls
could be
who are
like, it
even
could have a similar
crazier
vein
than
to
him.
that, I guess, like just in terms of him being all negative and angry.
Yeah, because you tend to like latch on to those.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the fish eyes.
Yeah, he seems like he's more of a
He's
kind
fish
of a.
eyes.
He seems like he's going to be more of a kind of a loudmouth, kind of hot-headed protagonist, whereas what was his name? Hachiman was just really kind of cool and dark and composed and all conniving and evil and the best thing about being alive.
I think
I love Hachiman.
I think Brains Base is one of those studios that I am super lenient with. And the reason that I say that is because I don't like a lot of the stuff that Brains Base does, but when they do something really good, it's fucking brilliant. It's so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
they know how to pull it out of the bag at the right times. But the only thing I can say is that from what I can tell from this series, this doesn't seem like the kind of show that Brain Space are made for. This isn't one of the shows that...
You have to bear in mind as well that they also did the Origairu, they did what's it called? My Little Monster. They did that as well. And those are sort of like sort of in a similar vein.
I guess now you put it that way.
So I don't agree with that exactly. But I think they do other things better. I think Durarara was brilliant. I think Natsume Yujinchou was brilliant, and I think I appreciated them a lot more because they weren't like set in high school or whatever.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this more than I was when initially kind of glazed over the chart. So we shall see what happens with it, because it seems like it could be very interesting.
But the writer also did School Days, so there's that.
I think the only thing the writer did that's actually the only thing the writer did that's actually decent is Katana Gatari.
Yeah, Katana Gatari is like incredible.
Yeah, and I still haven't seen it. I've just heard it's good.
Yeah, it's like 12 hours of pure love.
Oh man, can't wait.
So good. So, does anyone else have anything to say on this show before we move on?
Nah.
Hello.
Maybe that was a tweet saying something about defrag.
Guess what?
What?
Tensei Twister just tweeted me.
What?
Oh man.
Oh baby.
Shout outs to Tensei Twister.
He's not gonna watch this video.
Go subscribe to him.
Yeah, man, go subscribe to Tensei Twister because he's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Anyway,
he's
we'll
our
move.
bestie.
That was a tangent. So let's move on back into talking about anime, and we're going to talk about Sekai Seifuku, which
Has a subtitle that no one can
has a
pronounce.
subtitle.
Boryaku no
Shall we have a
Zvizvda.
go?
Zvizda.
Zvezda. I think it's
Really,
Zvezda.
really want to
Zvizda.
Zvizda.
Oh man, bringing it 90s.
Yeah, man.
That's literally not what I was expecting you to say just then. Caught me right off guard.
Thanks. I did it. There's two things I want to mention with
Well
this. Three things, actually. So, it's A1 Pictures.
Yep.
It's an original by A1 Pictures, so we literally have no information about this show. And the writer has the best name in the world, so let's move on from... No. Does anyone have anything they want to say about this?
Just it's an A1 Pictures show.
All I've got
basically.
from the story, yeah.
What was that, Pat?
Oh, I've only got... Like, the most I've got about the story is it's about a secret society called Zvezda, and it's led by a... Well, if you've seen the picture, it's
Yeah.
a scantily clad young girl. And that's it. That's all I've got.
That's all you need to know.
You can tell from the picture there's a bunny and a
Yeah.
robot.
I'm just quite looking forward to it because generally, A1 Pictures don't disappoint me. A1 Pictures shows generally aren't my favourites ever, but they never really let me down. Like, I'm always just able to just kind of enjoy them, like even like kind of sword art and stuff. Like, it's not great, but it's still enjoyable. I've always been entertained by A1 Pictures, and that's kind of the biggest deal I can get out of this. Because we are pretty much completely in the dark, in terms of most of the aspects of this show, like who's involved.
Yeah.
But saying that, it's A1 Pictures, and that's kind of all I can really say in terms of how I'm going to enjoy it.
So, I just had a bit of an internet issue there, so there might be a weird, janky cut or whatever, but we're going to move on to the last show on the list for this video, and we're going to do it quickly, which is Sakura Trick.
Yeah,
Does
man.
anyone have anything to say?
I think Pat was the one who put it on the list, so
Yeah.
what's your reasonings for being hype about this show, Pat?
Well, I'm afraid of being known as the Studio Dean guy, but I feel like giving this one a go. If you don't know, it's about two girls who go to this school which is closing, and to make a lasting memory, they decide to kiss, and basically it's got Yuri elements to it. And
It's basically a Yuri show, I
yeah,
think.
pretty much. I'm not sure what that says about me.
So it's a slice of life comedy with lesbians in it, so it's going to be absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Alright. I have issues with this because of the studio. In the past, they have done some really good stuff, but they've also done some really bad stuff.
Yeah.
They did Higurashi, they did Higurashi Kai. Those were two phenomenal series. And then they also did Higurashi Rei and Higurashi Kira, which were not good.
No.
Nope.
So,
Well, I don't think Studio Dean is ever really one of those studios that people get really excited about. It's like, you see, there's certain studios, people are like, yeah, that studio's behind it. But Studio Dean, it's like, oh.
Studio Dean.
yeah, I always get like really hyped. Like with Sankareya, I was like, oh, this sounds really interesting. And it was like, Studio Dean, and I instantly, like, my hype levels dropped quite
Yeah.
drastically.
I went into Sankareya without knowing who it was by and just really enjoyed it. So they definitely are able to pull it out of the bag when needed. And this doesn't seem like it's going to be a very demanding series at all.
No.
Like, all they need for this series to be entertaining is for it to be cute and nice and a bit like Candy Boy. And if it's cute and nice and a bit like Candy Boy, then that's fine.
I don't think it's going to be like that. I've got to be honest.
Well, you don't think it's going to be cute?
I don't think it's going to be...
Romance.
I think it's going to be a lot more romance based. Because it seems to be the only element of the show, to be honest.
I'm gonna raise
I
my...
think one thing is that it's
Wait,
not...
what was Pat saying?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'm gonna raise my hopes only for them to be crushed under the weight of Studio Dean.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing in its favour that leads me to believe that it's going to be more in the vein of Candy Boy than in something like Strawberry Panic is that it doesn't have drama listed as one of the genres. When you have slice of life romance school Yuri, that's different to like romance drama Yuri, because that means it's going to be. I do feel it's going to be more of that kind of cutesy thing, especially with the art and design that we can see of it. It seems like it's doing something nice and fluffy and enjoyable and not too overbearing or like heavy.
Yeah.
Which is kind of something I really hate about Yuri shows that are too serious like that, because it's just like, oh, it's so kind of overly in depth and overly kind of like romance is the most important thing in the world kind of feeling, and it's just not relaxing. And I think this could just be like one of those slice of life comedies like Non Non Buri this season, only they start kissing, like K-On! With kissing, and it'll be great.
I am really curious to give this a go because I watched Candy Boy and I kind of liked it, but it wasn't what I would call a Yuri. It would be something entirely different, I suppose, because there was a romance element to it, but it wasn't. It was between two sisters rather than being like just two random girls who don't have this big taboo relationship or whatever.
One of the girls is meant to be really controlling.
So I'm interested to give it a go because I just haven't watched a Yuri before, apart from Candy Boy, which barely counts in my opinion. So, I know I've watched Yaoi before and I've not liked it, so I might as well give Yuri a go, and then I can figure out if I like it or not and decide from there.
Then you can write it off.
Yeah.
Were you about to say something?
Oh, I was just saying that one of the main girls is meant to be really controlling, and that could be an interesting plot point.
Oh god.
No,
that's a bad plot point. That's literally the thing I hated the most about Strawberry Panic, that one of them was kind of like way more confident than the other one, and it was just kind of, it was a relationship with that sort of dynamic where one of them is kind of looking up to the other one, really, really respects them, and then one of them is kind of like in control, and it's just like, that's not what relationships are like.
Alright, so we'll just write off this one. We'll just write it off. It's no face.
I think it's still, it has the potential to be okay, but I'm not expecting anything major from it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is not going to be anime of the season. This isn't going to be as good. This isn't going to be as good as Space Dandy, I'm afraid. This is not going to be as good as Nobunaga the Fool.
Yeah,
Hell no.
We'll see.
Even though those shows are completely incomparable in every fashion.
So I think that is all that we can really say about Sakura Trick.
Yeah, and I'm quite surprised we were able to talk about it for 5 minutes, to be honest.
Yeah, well, we did. So that was a thing that we did. Well done us.
Yeah, man.
So this is where this video will end. If you haven't checked out the video beforehand, you can go over and click on BakaShift's face, I suppose, to go and see his video, which should be uploaded by now if you are watching this as soon as it goes out.
Yep.
If you are watching this as soon as it goes out, there will be no annotation on Pat's face, but you should come back and, there'll be another video tomorrow, basically, on Pat's channel, us talking about sequels, OVAs, and movies. So, you should go and subscribe to both of these lovely people, because they are fantastic. And, do you want to say goodbye?
Yeah.
So long, everybody. It's been lovely being here, as always.
Okay.
Thanks. I like being here too. It was wonderful, and it's nice place
we'll
to be.
do this every season if people...
Without fail. Hashtag Team BakaMelting Jelly. It's going to be trending like a bouse.
We'll do it. So I think that's everything.
Yes, indeed.
So, thank you for watching, take care, and I will see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.